Okay, ladies, I'm starting this again. I was in the middle of filming and the phone rang and my video stopped. So here we go again. Okay, last week I drew the set Colorful Seasons, and the ink pad or the color is Berry Burst, which is one of the new in colors. Colorful Seasons is on page 147 in the catalog. It's a great stamp set, lots of pieces that go with it with the Colorful Seasons bundle, and I'm planning a whole class around this. So this is just a taste of how you can use this stamp set. Okay, there's my Berry Burst. I am going to use the leaf set. Let me see, where's my stamp set? I'm going to use the leaf stamp, the sprocket stamp, and the You Make Me Smile in here. All right, I'm going to need a sponge dauber. I have my card base, which is white. I have a scrap piece of paper that it's sitting on. I have my, one of these. Oh, this one is 1 3/4 by 5.5, and then I have some scrap paper because I don't know which one my stamp set's going to fit on, and some other things I'm going to do. So with that in mind, I'm going to get started here. And I'm taking my leaf stamp, and then I'm using a Post-it note, and I'm covering up the stem. So I'm going to ink it up, take off the Post-it note, and stamp. I have to put back the Post-it note back on here, and I have to be careful because it'll get on my fingers, and then I invariably will get it on my card. So let me set it down. I'm just going to have to be careful. All right, and I'm going to continue in this manner all across the back. Now, I will tell you, when you use a Post-it note, if you get a lot of ink on there, it'll come through the other side. So you want to frequently change out that Post-it note. And this is a really juicy pad, so it's probably getting a lot juicier than it normally would if it wasn't a brand new pad. All right, I gotta cut it again. And I'm going to continue in this manner, and I'm not going to say anything because that way I can then speed this up as you watch how I do this. See? Okay, you get the idea. I'm going to stop the camera and do this because I forgot to take this off. And I got to start again. Okay. I got it finally finished. It took me 3 times because you saw the first one when I was almost finished and the phone rang. Then you saw this one where I screwed up, and while I was doing it, I did it again. So I finally got it done. So that is done and ready. So I'm going to set it aside. Now I'm going to take my small piece of, it's the 1 3/4 by 5.5, and my little sprocket piece. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp this all over. So I'm creating some more texture. This card is all about texture. Well, guess what? We're going to flip it over and start again. I am having a heck of a time today. But you know what? It's a handmade card. Give me a minute. I'm going to clean this. So invariably I would have stuck it in somewhere. Let me clean it again. That's what happens when you get brand new pads. Okay, got it done. Now, what I'm going to take and do is my sponge dauber, and I'm going to heavily ink my edges. I want them to be really dark. Okay, and I totally forgot my sponge, so I need to get my sponge. Be right back. Okay, I am going to add just a little bit of color to this because I just want a tiny bit. So I'm just adding really light pink, and I'm not being particular. There will be some white space in there, and I'm going to leave it because that adds just a little bit more interest. Can you believe this? Okay, hang on. Okay, it was a telemarketer. You saw me finish this up, and again, I left it because I wanted some interest in there. So now I'm going to take my sentiment and I'm going to stamp it on here. All right. And I am going to cut this down, and I'm going to cut this piece a little bit bigger than my sentiment, and I'll be back. Okay, this piece ended up to be 1 1/8 by 2 1/8. So this piece is 1 3/8 by 2 3/8. And I'm going to go back to my scrap paper and my sponge dauber, and I'm going to ink the sides of this up very heavily. This was the bigger piece. And my last piece. Okay. This piece is going to be mounted on there. Now, if you have the paper, the matching ribbon, whatever, you can use that, but I wanted to show you that you can use simple supplies and create great cards. Okay, let me get this straight. I'm going to put down, see, I messed it up, so I flipped it over. It's always a way to fix things. Always. All right, and I'm rotating. I like a long edge on each side. If you put it long, then you have nothing here. So I usually try to rotate mine. And I'm going to get ready and cut this in half. If you're not familiar, you can cut your dimensionals in half. I haven't gotten the new mini ones, so I may not have to do that for long. But and then this is a long piece, so I'm going to put an extra one here and here. And then for this one, I'm just going to put one in each corner. We are almost done. And as it was last week, if you want to dress it up a little, take your Wink of Stella and add some color in there. I mean, you can spotlight a ribbon, a leaf, and I'll show you what that would look like. I'll do it, but you don't have to do it, but just an idea. Okay, I think I want it this way, although it doesn't seem to really matter. Okay, so I put that on my card, and it's crooked. Today is not my day. I know you all had those. And naturally, I have a ton of dimensionals on here. There, I straightened it out somewhat. All right, so if I take my Wink of Stella, which is here, and this is the clear one. That's the one I use the most. I know we carried the gold one for a while. I didn't have it out. Brand new too, so I hadn't even opened it. Okay. All right, now I've got to take off the black ring, put it back together, squeeze it tight. All right, now before you go using this on your paper, you've got to push the sides where it says push. That gets that Wink of Stella down in there. See it how it blops out? You want to take and do that on scrap paper. Okay, and I'm going to take this one here in the corner. But just to show you, and I'm not wasting that other, I'm just picking it up. Now, the Wink of Stella will smear your ink, but that's okay. You know. All right. And I'm almost done. There. Now, when you do that, make sure you clean your Wink of Stella before you put it away. It will pick up the ink and it will stain your brush. Okay, so now I'm going to add my sentiment. Okay, and I'm going to add it right there, and there we go. Simple card, minimal supplies. Adding the Wink of Stella gives it a little bit more oomph. I am probably going to add Wink of Stella to the rest of this, so you'll see it in my picture, but again, you don't have to do it. All right, we are ready to do our drawing for next week. All right, let me shake it up. Shake this up. All right, I'm turning my head so that nobody can see it, or I can't look and see. Birthday blooms, okay? And let's see, what color are you going to use? Want it to be some brown or something. Black! Oh my goodness. Oh well, this will be an interesting one, so come back next week to see me use birthday blooms with black.